Hello everyone, it is Sonia Elsie here. So for today's video, I'm going to be doing a chit chat get ready with me. I haven't done one of these in a really long time and I really like doing them. I just think that they're really fun and really chill and I think that you guys like these. So yeah, it is currently 4:16 in the afternoon and I'm finally getting my life together. So I'm just gonna be doing my makeup and chatting with you guys on some random topics. I haven't done one of these in forever where I just kind of chat and spill all of my tea, I guess. I also spilled nail polish all over my hands, so if you see this, no, I'm not just bleeding everywhere. It just, I just didn't take it off yet. So the first thing we're going to be using is the Andalo Naturals Eye Revive Contour Gel. This is supposed to help with under eye bags, and also all of the products will be linked down below. They are obviously cruelty-free and all that jazz, so if you want to try out anything that I use, you know, hit up that that link. I feel like it's been a while since I've sat down and chatted with y'all, but some life updates. Basically, I feel like I've been working a lot, you know, doing all kinds of random stuff. I've kind of branched out from doing more than just YouTube. I feel like I've been live streaming so much on this app called Bigo, and it's been really fun because I feel like I've kind of gathered a different audience almost. Like a lot of different people watch me on there that usually wouldn't watch me watch my YouTube videos, I feel like. So it's been kind of a different audience and that's been really fun. I'm also you know, doing a lot of background acting work stuff and going to auditions, which has been fun, but it's been also a totally different world. I think for a while I was feeling a little bit stressed out in terms of YouTube, because YouTube, I feel like, you know, it's obviously something that I want to do for a really long time and I really enjoy it, and I'm gonna keep doing it as long as people want to watch me and as long as I find joy from it. But it definitely, I don't know, it doesn't last forever, and I think that really sunk in when the ad apocalypse happened and everyone's income was kind of like cut in a million pieces and everyone was kind of freaking out. So that's when I realized that, okay, you know, YouTube is not something that I can really rely on forever, especially as a smaller creator and someone who, you know, can't pull in like $10 million from a brand deal, you know? I've been trying out other things and it's just been a lot of fun. Ooh. Oh. I'm thinking about moving. So basically my lease is up in January, which is so crazy to me because that'll mean it's been a year since I moved out of my old apartment, and I literally feel like I just freaking moved. Like, what the heck? My apartment is raising my rent. I feel like a lot of apartments, especially in LA, if you don't have a rent controlled apartment, then they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want, and they know that they can charge ridiculous prices because people want to be here. So they're raising it by quite a bit, and I was kind of like, interesting. Because, you know, I always I feel like I've been a good resident, but oh well. So was thinking about maybe moving to a 1-bedroom, which I think would be cool because they're raising the price to almost as much as a 1-bedroom, and I'm like, bitch, what the heck? I really like the studio life. The studio life is good for someone that, you know, doesn't want to pay a huge, I mean, it's still a good amount to pay, but it's good if you want your own place and you don't need like a huge amount of space and you want to save a little bit of money compared to what regular prices would be. Whoa. But yeah, so thinking about moving to a 1-bedroom, I think that would be awesome. That foundation everywhere. This is the Wet n Wild foundation, by the way. I like it, but it's a little bit greasy, and I think it's been making me break out a little, so we are gonna maybe switch back to the Tarte Amazonian Clay. I also have been looking into seeing a therapist, and, you know, I feel like mental health is definitely very important. Like, your brain controls everything in your whole body, you know? I feel like in order to lead reasonably happy, reasonably, you know, content, grateful life, you need to be okay in your mental health. And there have been some instances where I've realized that, you know, maybe I'm not 100% okay in my mental health. And so I'm looking into getting a therapist, which I'm actually kind of excited for because I don't know, I just feel like it'll be good for me. I feel like it'll be a good experience, and it's definitely something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. But okay, so I've always been kind of a workaholic type, especially getting into YouTube and social media and kind of what I do. I would say that I'm mainly a social media influencer because the majority of my income comes from, you know, social media, like either YouTube sponsorships, live streaming, different, you know, different collaborations with companies. Pretty much all of it is, you know, a majority of it is from social media. I do make a little bit doing acting, but it's definitely not enough to, like, if I were to quit everything to do that, you know, but it's definitely, you know, some good side cash. I think with all of these responsibilities and all of these things I've been trying to do, because I feel like for me, I always want to be the best at all the things I do. Like, I want to be really good as a YouTuber, really good at live streaming, and really good at, you know, all that stuff. It's required that you dedicate a lot of your time to all of those things. All of those things someone could dedicate just all of their time to, but for me, I'm like trying to do all of it, you know? Thinking about that has kind of made me anxious, and I haven't been, you know, diagnosed with any kind of anxiety disorder, so if I mention anxiety, just know that I could be wrong. Maybe it's not what I'm experiencing, but I always tend to overwhelm myself and set up these expectations for myself that aren't really realistic, and that I end up failing. And so it just because I set so many expectations for myself, and then it ends up making me feel like crap, even though like the expectations I set were maybe too high to even achieve in the first place. I find myself getting anxious over work way too much, like to the point where it's not healthy. And not to say like, oh, YouTube is the most stressful thing ever, or being an influencer is extremely stressful, because I'm very blessed and I'm very grateful that I can do this as a job and that it's so much fun for me. In my own head, I'll make things seem like such a big deal and will freak myself out over things and overwhelm myself, and it's just, it's not good, you know? And there will be other times that I have anxiety where I feel like there's no reason at all for it, or I feel like the reason is very dumb. For example, sometimes I will start freaking out in the car because I think that we are going to get into a car accident. Even if the driver is driving perfectly safe, there will be times where I feel like we are just going to die. Like, we are just going, not gonna live, that I'm gonna get into a car accident and it's gonna be fiery and explosive and just really bad, and that thought just crosses my head way too much, way more than I feel like it crosses the average person's head. And I have been in one car accident that was kind of bad. Obviously it wasn't like so bad to the point where I had to go to the hospital or anything was broken, but it was bad to the point where, like, now every time I get into a car I think that I'm going to get into an accident and die. I remember there was one time that I was in an Uber and the seatbelt wouldn't work because I was sitting in the middle seat, and I don't know, the seatbelt just didn't work in the middle seat, and I was with my friends. It was like a Halloween party or something, and we were coming back from it, so we were a little bit lit, and the seatbelt wouldn't work, and I just full-on started crying and hyperventilating in the car because I imagined us getting into a car accident and my body being like ejected from the car. And so that was really interesting because, you know, I was in front of all my friends, and I felt afterwards, I just felt really dumb because we ended up getting to the location safe. But the thing is, with a lot of these anxieties, part of me thinks that it is unreasonable to think these things, and then there's another part of me that's like, hey, it's actually totally reasonable to want to wear your seatbelt in the car or to be concerned of a car accident. But my brain takes it too far, where it's like, you are going to die, like, you will die, you are going to die. That's probably the main reason why I want to see a therapist, is just because I want to know why my brain will sometimes just do the worst and make me freak out. And sometimes it'll literally be for no reason. I will just be sitting in a room and maybe there will be lots of people around me and I'll just start freaking out. I'll just be like, oh, like something bad is gonna happen, something bad is gonna happen, even though everything's fine. I'm with my friends, I'm just chilling. Like, my brain will just go there, and it's really frustrating when it does that, because usually it's in a circumstance where it shouldn't be happening. And this has definitely been happening way more. I don't think that this used to happen to me in high school. I remember there have been a couple times that I've had anxiety, like at the doctor's office, and have kind of freaked out because they've told me, you know, oh, like you could be sick, and I don't know, for some reason the thought of me being sick kind of freaks me out too. But yeah, I want to talk to a therapist, and I want to know why it's gotten so bad recently, why I keep thinking that I'm going to die, and you know, what I can do to kind of calm down my brain, because I really don't want to develop, you know, anything worse because of this. And I don't want this to affect my friendships or my work, because usually I'm pretty good at dealing with myself, you know. Usually I'm very aware. I don't panic often in like bad circumstances. I can think reasonably, and I can calm down, and I can figure out what needs to be done, like, you know, if I'm in a bad circumstance. But sometimes when there is literally nothing is posing a real threat, my brain will just think that something is wrong and cause me to go into full overdrive mode. And it has just been really, I don't know, it's honestly tiring. Like, the way that I think just really tires me out sometimes. It's like, bruh, can you just chill? I'm just trying to chill. Or especially on days where I am kind of all over the place. Like, let's say I have a day where maybe I wake up late and I don't do my proper routine, and maybe I have to be somewhere, and then I have to be a bunch of other places, and you know, or I have a bunch of nerve-wracking things. Those days can cause me to just be like, oh my god, what's going on? But yeah, it's just very interesting, and I'm excited to talk to a therapist, and you know, maybe I'll make a video talking about what my experience with a therapist has been like. I did go to a therapist probably when I was like 15, because as you guys know, I don't really have like a good relationship with my mom, and so that was like severely affecting me. So I went to a therapist for that, and I feel like that helped me a little bit, but I also wasn't really willing to open up about how I felt. So she mainly to me was like, hey, I don't really think that you need any more from me, when I still didn't know really anything about myself. I feel like I wasn't really as in tune with my brain and my thoughts and stuff. I don't know. And I think my biggest fear, which I know that I'm kind of young to be thinking this, but I'm really afraid that I'm gonna have kids someday, and that I'm gonna pass on all of my anxious thoughts and weirdness onto them, and it's gonna affect them negatively, which is why I want to seek therapy and seek help now, and just know why I think a certain way, and you know, how to combat that. I see in some ways the way that my mom treated me, how that affects how I treat other people, or how I trust other people, and I don't want that to affect me anymore. I want to be I want to be me, and I want to be strong and independent and able to set clear boundaries. If you guys are having any mental health problems, then you know, just know that you are not alone, and you are not crazy, and there is help out there. So yeah, I don't know. It feels really good to like talk about things too. I know that sometimes I have a few really good friends, and when I'm freaking out or when I'm being weird, they'll just, well, not being weird, but you know, if I'm freaking out, they'll talk to me, and they'll just let me process my emotions, and I really appreciate that, because I can just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of helps me verbalize it. And then sometimes when I say something out loud, I realize, you know, the anxious part of my brain will realize, hey, that's kind of an unreasonable thing to think. Like, I don't think you have to be worried about that. And then I'll be like, oh yeah, sweet, you got it, like, fuck yeah. And I think that's the main reason why I really enjoy making ASMR videos too, because originally I started making them just because I really enjoyed watching them, and I thought that it would be weird for me to make them, and I just wanted to do it because I knew that it would be something that not a lot of people my age would think was cool. I don't know, I just wanted to be different, and I wanted to do something that not a lot of people are willing to do, because I started my ASMR channel literally when I was in high school, so you can imagine like what my classmates thought of my ASMR channel. And if you guys didn't know, I have an ASMR channel. ASMR stands for Autonomous Sensory Meridian Response. Is it autonomous or autonomous? I don't know how to say it actually, but basically they're relaxation videos. They're supposed to trigger a tingly feeling in you, and you know, they do in fact trigger a tingly feeling in me. Some people don't get that feeling, and so that's kind of why a lot of people don't understand ASMR, because they don't get the feeling, and then they're like, this is just a weird fetish thing, which it is not. But it definitely can be. There's people that sexualize ASMR a lot, but you know, whatever floats your boat, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so I started receiving so many comments that made me so happy, that were like, Sonia, I've been struggling a lot with anxiety or depression or insomnia, and your videos have like helped me a lot. And that makes me so happy, because I don't know, I just really like making ASMR videos. They kind of put me in like a different headspace, and the fact that people really enjoy them that much makes me really happy, because I feel like, you know, with my main channel, I don't know if my main channel helps anyone with any of those things. Like, maybe it does, but I can't really imagine that it does. Maybe if any of my main channel videos have helped you, that makes me really happy, because I don't know, I like that. I love making videos, and if they can help someone, or if they can make someone's day brighter, or help you forget about something, or, you know, just give you something to listen to while you're cleaning your room, or I don't know, just something, that would make me really happy. But yeah, the comments that I get on my ASMR channel from people who I've helped, they are always really nice, and they're always really like, I don't know, they're just eye-opening, because they're always about really serious stuff. A lot of them, some of them will be like, oh, I've been going through just, and they'll comment something really serious, but your ASMR videos have helped me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that seriously means so much. So I think that's the main reason why I've continued making ASMR videos. First of all, just because I love making them, and because they help people, and there's a lot of people that, I don't know, just really enjoy them, you know, and if I can help people, then that's awesome. So yeah, I guess my mental health, I would say 70% of the time is really good. Okay, yes. Obviously I have daily anxieties and insecurities, but for the other percentage, sometimes I just have days where I just am scared to leave my bed, because I feel like I'm gonna die, or someone's gonna kidnap me, or, you know, like my brain will just think these weird, unreasonable thoughts. And obviously, I mean, in some ways the thoughts are, I don't know, those things could happen, so it's like my brain always goes that cycle where it's like, oh well, you think this is unreasonable, but technically it could happen, and then I'm like, oh my god. But yeah, I'm excited to talk to a therapist, and hopefully if you guys want to hear some videos on my experience and what I have learned, then let me know, because that would be, I think that would be good to talk about. And for me, I've mentioned this in a few of my videos, but if I'm going through something, or if I'm going through a hard time, I like to know that other people have gone through it and what they've done. So I'll usually search like story time videos, or you know, my experience with blah blah blah, or what to do if you're feeling blah blah blah. I don't know, I just really like watching videos like that. They make me feel less alone, and I'll be like curled up in my bed watching it, and I'll just be like, oh, I am no longer alone. I'm not alone. Someone else is going through that as well. You know, it's all, they got through it, you know, it feels good. So this has kind of been my go-to look recently. This is like my chill, I don't really want to deal with eyeliner look. This is also the look that I wear to a majority of my auditions. So if you guys want to know what I do my makeup as, usually the roles that I'm sent for are like innocent, girly, like whatever. So this has always been the makeup look that works for me, except I'll usually tone down on the highlight. I'll do like very light. I don't want to go full on like freaking bright like this. But anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble about my mental health. I'm excited to start getting that in check. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Follow me on my ASMR channel, my vlog channel, my Instagram, my Twitter, Tumblr, all of that stuff, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye everyone!